get kicked in the face at least?
Possibly.
Wow, she's really that NDA is rock solid.
But you've had a wonderful
totally.
time in Bangkok. Like you've gotten to see a little bit of Thailand when you've been there.
A little bit. I mean, when we came here, we had to quarantine for 2 weeks because it's pretty strict. And then once we got out, we got to go to some of the temples and tried some of the amazing foods at the food vendors. And it's just been an incredible experience here.
Is it your first time there, or have you been there before?
First time.
Oh, wow.
Time, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about, I mean, because we saw your IMDb. You've had an incredible career.
A huge
an
list.
Actress, as a stunt woman. How does somebody, like, how did you get into stunts in the first place?
Well, I've actually been in the business for about 16, 17 years now, which is crazy. But I was actually a dancer when I came to Los Angeles. My first job was being a Laker girl. And, you know, I did gymnastics and like acrobatics as a child. So I went to a gymnastic class and I met a bunch of stunt guys and they kind of started training me. And that's how I kind of got in. I fell into it. I did not even expect to become a stunt performer at all. Like I was trying to be a dancer and it just kind of happened for me. So yeah, I was really blessed and I just fell in love with the industry.
So how did you go from dancing to stunts? Like, did you learn? I mean, there's certain things, obviously dancing is one thing, falling 20 feet, you know, out of the air onto the ground is another, falling off of horses. So how did you make that segue?
Well, dancing, you know, obviously it's really physical. And so, you know, it was easy for me to transition because learning fight choreography was a lot easier because I had the knowledge of like remembering things. And then, you know, obviously the flexibility, coordination helped a lot. But, you know, it took years to like learn all these different skills, of course. And you know, I still think I'm still learning, obviously.
I mean, I've kind of followed your career as, you know, we met on a zombie movie, remember?
I was about to say, how did
we
you
met on
know
a
each
zombie
other?
movie. She was playing student zombie, because she's like only, you know, how many years, I mean, it was a little while ago. And then after that, then you were doing a music video that I kind of crashed. And then it's just like, then she was like in everything. I was like, oh my God. I go, she's in this, she's in that, she's in this, she's in that. It's just like, when would you say was like your like golden period? Because I mean, you've been working nonstop for like it's the last 10 years or I mean, it's just like, dang, she's in everything. It's funny because I've gotten to know your moves and stuff, and I go like, when I was watching The Mandalorian, I go, I bet you that's Lauren, and then sure enough, bing, it's Lauren.
Yeah, I mean, I have to be honest, like getting into the business took a while. Like it was hard, I would have to say. Like the first 5 years, it was a struggle. It was like a hustle. You know, and also like when I started, there weren't a lot of like Asian, you know, a lot of Asian people on film and television. So it was a struggle to find actresses to double. I mean,
Oh,
and now,
yeah.
you know, it's just been, you know, definitely a struggle, especially for a lot of Asian actors. But, you know, it's evolved so much, you know, ever since Crazy Rich Asians, it really opened the gates for our you know, our kind. But like, yeah, it really opened the gates and it was able, we're like everywhere now. I mean, we're becoming more, you know, in the media. And I think it's just such a beautiful time to be, you know, an Asian in America and to represent us, you know, instead of just being a stereotypical Asian character, you know, where we were always just the best friend or the kung fu artist or the really good student at math or
Sure.
doing nails. Yeah. So now it's really evolved to becoming like just normal people. So it's really amazing time right now.
So when people, because you were saying that a lot of times you stunt double Asian actresses, so you basically, because you're at a level now where you don't even audition, do they just call you because they're familiar with your work and the way you look and your size and height proportion and your abilities? So they just call you and say, hey, do you want to come work on this job?
Yeah, most of the time it's word of mouth now and, you know, people knowing each other and like, yeah, that's just how it is in the business after a while.
I bet you're on the short list. They're like, I
Yeah.
know who we can call for this. It's going to be Lauren. Let's call Lauren, you know. Let's throw her through the window. She can take a punch. And I mean, right? I mean, it's like when you go to that level, your level, I would say that that you're like on the list that most people will call. It's kind of like when they want Doug Jones, they're like, who do we know that could that call Doug Jones?
On the top
it's just
of the
like,
list.
I'm sure it's in your profession that you're like one of the people that's like on the top of the list.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Come on, don't be humble.
No.
I mean,
it's
they
hard, yeah. I don't know.
Are you still pinching yourself? Are you
put
still
myself in that position? Like, but yeah, I'm so flattered for any job I get considered for. So yeah, it's been an amazing journey for sure.
Is there something that you're known for in specific that you specialize in? Like I know some people do high falls, some people do, tricks with, like I said, with horses or something.
Yeah.
Is there something that you're known for that they know, let's call Lauren because we know that she's able to do it?
I get called a lot to do a lot of fight choreography, and a lot of wire work. So those are like my two things I'm really like passionate about and I love. Yeah, I just am in love with martial arts. I train all the time. I'm really starting to get known for like my Filipino martial arts, which is like stick fighting and stuff. So yeah, it's like my hobby that I just love so much.
Wow. So now, like, because, like you said, right now you're in Bangkok, Thailand. You guys, she's coming to us live from Bangkok, Thailand. So do you travel all over the world all the time? Because you're constantly, literally, you're going from job to job to job to job. Like, you don't have a break, right?
Yeah, most of the time I feel like I'm always on the go, but, I'm so ready to get back to LA and just work there. Be nice to be more grounded, but yeah, I've been so fortunate to travel all over the world, and that's like the beauty of our business. But the thing is, like, everything shoots everywhere now, so you can literally live anywhere.
It's true. It's true. Like now, if someone offered you, like, we like your look, we like your style, would you want to be on a sitcom if they offered you a sitcom? If you're like, no martial arts, no falling down the stairs. If it's like, we want you to be one of the Friends or something, would you take that job?
Oh my God. Yes.
In a heartbeat,
totally.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get hit with a brick today. That would be awesome.
I think sitcoms are the most fun to work on actually, because the set is so like stress free and like everyone's having fun and laughing. I think it's just a great environment to be a part of.
Oh, that's awesome. Sammy in the chat says good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sammy.
And you guys, because Lauren is here live, she's actually coming to us, if you've just joined us, from Bangkok, Thailand, where it's evening. So please engage her in the chat. We love questions, comments, suggestions. She is one of the top stunt women in Hollywood right now. So if you have an opportunity to talk to her, she's here at 9 o'clock at night, her time.
Yep.
Early our time, just to be here with you. So
14
please,
hours ahead.
Yes, engage her in the chat. That's awesome. For those who are watching right now who might be interested in getting into a profession like yours, what would you suggest to them?
I would say definitely train in falls, reactions, anything that you're passionate about, whether it's like scuba diving, motorcycles, cars, martial arts. Get with friends and start training. Go to like stunt gyms where you can meet other stunt performers where they can help you. Another way we get work is it's called hustling. I don't know how much it's available now since of COVID, but usually we'll go crash a set literally and bring our headshot and try to meet the stunt coordinator. So yeah, that's some ways that people can like try to get work. Another really good thing nowadays is social media, shooting things, showing your skill set and like posting it, because people do look at that. So yeah, and always stay humble and like just train and just always have a good head on your shoulders, pretty much.
Now, are there classes that people can take for stunts in specific, like you would take an acting class?
I'm sure.
That has not been as prominent in our business like for years. Like that was kind of frowned upon, but there are gyms like coming up now that are teaching stunt people and helping them. So anything that will help you to learn, I think that's a great thing.
I have a friend. She came from Florida. She's a young upcoming actress, and she didn't come to Hollywood to become an actress. She's like, I actually came to Hollywood to become a stunt woman. And I showed her your Instagram and your page. I go, you want to see somebody who's really good? I go, watch this. And she's like, oh my God, I want to meet her. And so when you come back to LA, you guys are gonna have to meet. She started off very young. She did this huge fall, and it had to be underwater, and they filmed it. I forget which movie, but I was like, wow, you're on your way, but you still need. And she's also a martial artist, and she's still studying and stuff. And I was like, yeah, you need to meet this girl. I go, she's going to give you the crash course in how to be a stunt woman. Because I mean, I champion. I think right now is definitely the age of women, the empowerment age, because there's more superheroes that are women. There's more women. They're no longer the damsels in distress. They're actually right in the forefront in getting in neck deep into the stuff. Like, for example, tell us about your work on Stargirl, on CW Stargirl.
Man, that was one of my favorite jobs. It was just, man, that our stunt team was helmed by Walter Garcia. He's like an amazing up and coming like director too. So yeah, it was incredible to work on that team because we got to do such amazing wire work. I mean, there was this one gag I got to like traverse like a building up to like 7 or 8 floors, and I got to do like a backflip off of it. So it was really fun to do wire work on that, and the whole team was just so talented. And yeah, it was, if you guys can like look on my Instagram page, I post a lot of things from Stargirl, like a lot of the behind the scenes footage, and it's just such a fun show that I feel like a lot of people don't watch because I don't know, CW shows, I don't know if they get the attention they deserve sometimes.
Well, tell us a little bit about Stargirl for those of us who don't know. What type of show is it?
It's a show geared for kids, young adults, and it's about this girl who magically finds a staff and it gives her all these powers, and she basically is empowering women. She's trying to empower girls her age, and like it just shows like the triumph of women, and it's just a good show for all families. I think it's just a good show for everyone that loves action.
Oh, wow, that's great. And is this true? Back in the day, a lot of women were not into stunts, and so they would actually have guys in wigs
Yeah.
and put them in dresses, and they would be the stunt man for the woman.
Yes, that definitely happened back in the day. A lot of things happened back in the day that we don't do anymore. But yeah, we've come a long way. Now we have tons of talented stunt performers, stunt women that, you know, of all races, sizes, everything. So it's a really like amazing time right now.
I know, because if you watch some of the old shows, and you could see like these old shows from the 70s, and there's a woman and she's like tumbling out of a car, and then all of a sudden she becomes very large. She's like a larger woman, and her hair doesn't look right, and you're just like, wait a minute, what just happened?
They did that on purpose in this movie, Black Dynamite, with Michael J. White, where they purposely would do certain things, like would show the crew, or they would show, and then there's just one part where the guy's fighting and it's a woman, and then they turn around and it's a black guy in a wig and a blonde wig.
No.
So they kind of like make fun of that.
Oh my
so
gosh.
Who would you say is your mentor? Who's someone that you look up to in martial arts and in the stunt world?
My first person I would say would be Jeff Amata. I mean, he was the fight coordinator and stunt coordinator for Jason Bourne, the Bourne Identity, and that like his choreography is just so amazing and so creative, and he really uses his environment. He's actually helped me a lot through my career. So yeah, I would definitely say Jeff Amata.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
It's
great.
great.
Because he's kind of known. I mean, everybody knows, at least in our industry, everybody knows.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I honestly don't think that Stunts gets enough credit. I mean, and the SAG Awards is starting to give awards for the stunt teams, and I think slowly but surely it's starting to warm up with the Oscars. But the things that some of these stunt people do is just. It's not just great on film; it's also death-defying. Are you are you an adrenaline junkie? Would you consider yourself an adrenaline junkie? You're like going, this is scaring me, but it's so much fun. It's like, oh my god, this is so great.
Yeah, I think I am. I mean, it's funny because like I'll do a stunt and I do get sometimes butterflies, and I'm like, it's kind of thrilling. You're right, it is thrilling to do what we do, and it's like, how many jobs do you have where you can actually do something like that, where you're like jumping in front of a moving car or like jumping out of a building? It's just, I feel like it really creates this like child in you that comes out, and you just get to play and have fun at work all the time.
And then, I mean, like, not to sound dark, but when you hear about a stunt person getting, you know, sometimes they lose their lives creating a stunt. You're like, oh my God, that could have been me. Or you don't even think about that.
No, of course. I mean, those things obviously are very scary, and like, obviously we calculate our risk and we try to assess this situation as much as we can. But yeah, definitely my heart goes out to those performers.
What was the most challenging stunt you think you've ever performed?
A couple. I would say definitely a car hit is definitely mentally crazy. Actually had to do a car hit for a show called Secret Desire for Brenda's song, and
you get hit by a car?
Yeah.
I was wondering what you were saying.
No big deal. I got hit by a car.
Hit. So explain that to everybody.
Oh, sorry.
I booked the job, and the coordinator, of course, tells you what you're expected to do or what gags you're asked to do, and then it kept getting pushed. So, you know, mentally you're like thinking, okay, one more week, and then you keep like thinking about it more, and then because you know, you obviously things can go wrong, right? And it was in a rain. It was like a rain scene, so there's another factor of water.
Yeah. Wow.
It just kind of messed with your mind a little bit. And then, you know, obviously when I'm doing the stunt, I always have a mentality of like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want it to happen. I visualize what the outcome will be. And then I did it, and it happened so fast, obviously. And then the paramedics came up, and they were like, are you okay? Don't move. And they're freaking me out. And I'm like, I'm fine. But I guess the way I landed, they freaked out. So, you know, that obviously made me a little nervous. But luckily, I ended up being fine. But then after that, I just had a little bit of PTSD anytime a car was, like, driving towards me fast. So it's crazy how things really do affect you. Yeah.
How fast was that car going when it hit you?
I think it was 20 to 22 miles per hour.
In the rain. And then did you topple on the top, or did you go under? Like, they choreograph it so you know exactly where you're going, right?
I mean, you try to have a plan. Like, the plan was just to hit the windshield and come off. But because the rain was so slippery, I kind of went up, and the driver was like, oh my God, should I slow down to catch her with my windshield? So luckily it was a really experienced driver, and he was able to time it really perfectly with me. So I was blessed.
Have you ever been injured doing a stunt? Or maybe that's a silly question.
Yeah, I've had a couple concussions, you know, ankles, spraying, gashes in my chin. Yeah, I mean, we've all been through stuff. I've been punched in the face by actors, broken noses. So yeah, things happen,
my goodness. That's crazy.
Yikes.
Robert just started following us. Robert, thank you so much for talking to Lauren Mary Kim. If you have any questions you'd like to ask her, she's one of the leading stunt women here in Hollywood today.
And in Bangkok, too, apparently.
And she's coming actually from Bangkok, Thailand. Now, here's another question I just wondered, and once again, I don't know anything about stunts. When you perform a stunt, are there some stunts when they're saying this is a one-shot, one-off, it's so complicated, like you're falling out of it, we're just doing it once? And are there other stunts where it's like, okay, Lauren, today we're going to do this stunt, and you're probably going to get, you know, hit in the face 5 times? I mean, do they know how many times you're going to have to perform this stunt?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they, you know, we work with the props department or the special effects, so sometimes they only have like one breakaway of this, or, you know, maybe different like aspects of the set only allows like one breakaway wall or whatever. So it just depends on the budget of the project, and it just, every gag definitely varies for sure.
I know there's different kinds of stunt people. I've worked on a few films, and I always like when they have the stunts. I was like, I got to see this. There's like the car stunts, and I don't know if when I was growing up, I saw a movie with Burt Reynolds called Hooper. Have you ever seen Hooper?
I've heard of it.
It's about a stuntman, and after I saw it, Burt Reynolds and Clint Eastwood were actually, they started off as stuntmen back in the day. And after I saw that, I said, I want to be a stuntman because it looks like fun. And you know, they get dragged by horses, all kinds of different things. And I was just amazed being on set that they would bring in different stuntmen. I was like, oh, this so and so, he's going to just fly down the stairs. That was his sole job, was to go down the stairs. And he was like, you ready? And he goes down the stairs. And I'm like, oh my God, are you all right? And he's like, I'm fine. And they go, can you do it one more time? He's like, one more time. And he does it again. And then they brought it. They would bring in all these different stunt people. Danny Wayne was our stunt coordinator, and he had different stuntmen for. He had Charlie, and they kept. Charlie was great, and he would just crash. They kept having to put different outfits on him, and he crashed the car. But the one that amazed me the most was a guy that came in with all this gear, and he was basically a guy that would set on fire.
Wow.
Oh my God, it was just unbelievable. They put all this goop on. You've never been set on fire, have you? You haven't?
I have actually.
You have been set on fire?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, that's really dangerous, because I remember them saying, they asked him to do it twice, and he goes like, all right, this is very dangerous. And it was rainy night, and they put all this goop on him and stuff, and he was like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Did you get the shot? And they rushed in. I mean, I can't imagine you getting burned up. Did you start going...
And do they like cover you with blankets as soon as they yell?
No,
cut?
they came in with, this particular shot, they came in fire extinguishers. But after they were like, did you get it? Did you get it? I hope you got it this time. And they're like,
When were you on fire?
oh, just yesterday.
Man, this was a long time ago. I can't even remember the name of the movie. It was like a low budget film. But
Of course.
Yeah, yeah. It always seems to be that. Yeah, it was. We shot in LA. Like, I forgot. I think it was like in the hills somewhere. So it was like really cold, and it was like winter in the middle of the night. So
Oh, yeah.
we were freezing, of course, and then they soaked my clothing with like ice and like the gel. So then when they put everything on me, and then they added all this like fire gel on me, I was like ready to get lit up because I was so freezing. I was like shaking of the cold.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, that's what this dude was. He's like, hurry up, he's gonna get hypothermia. It was already like
cold.
already in cold. So it was cold upon cold, and it was raining. It's like it wasn't perfect. It was in the middle of the night at winter, and the fire marshal was just sitting there, and he was like far away, and the minute they lit him, boom! I was like, holy! It was so hot. I was like, oh my God.
So how long were you on fire for? Like, is it a matter of seconds?
Yeah. It's not that long. But, I mean, okay, so there's a guy who's really known for fire burns. His name is Jason Domingo, and I think he did a fire burn. I think it was the record of like 5 minutes, I want to say. It was something insane. I could be wrong with the time. I could be totally wrong with the time, but it was some ridiculous time. So, yeah, there's people that are definitely specialized.
That's crazy.
Is there any stunt that someone offered you and you're just like, oh, I'm not doing that. No way.
I don't know. I'm trying to think now. I don't know. I have to think about that one.
Okay.
Well, what is the most challenging type of stunt? Because there's like falls and, like you said, catching on fire and, getting run over by cars. What to you is the most challenging stunt?
I would definitely say car hits because they're so unpredictable. I mean, I've had friends, do them. And Lucy Romberg, she's like a tough as nails chick. She doubles Melissa McCarthy, and she did a car hit for Melissa, and I think she knocked out some of her teeth.
Oh.
I've had a couple of friends that had that happen. So yeah, it's just, you never know what's going to happen.
Because you kind of don't know what's going to get hit. It's so random.
Yeah, and you sometimes lose your like sense of where you are because you might get flipped a certain way. Yeah.
Oh, and you're
great.
tumbling or something.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Are you afraid of heights?
I
No.
don't think so. Have you seen some of the stunts she does? She's not afraid of heights.
Well, explain to the audience too about wire work, because we know what wire work is,
Yeah.
but a lot of people that are not in Hollywood don't know what wire work
It's
is.
true.
So a really great thing that we have now is wire work, and basically it's we have these things called riggers. It's a whole team of riggers, and they are like geniuses. I think they can rig together anything to manipulate your body, whether you're descending, like doing a fall, or if you're doing different flips. It's just physics pretty much, and like how, like, they're just like engineers. I want to call them stunt engineers because they really think and like analyze how to manipulate a body to do certain stunts. So that's basically what they are, geniuses, like stunt engineers.
I think the one time that I saw some excellent wire work was Wu Ping when he did it for The Matrix, and then it was everywhere. It's like wire work. But Wu Ping was like one of the very first that had it, and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I mean, it looks magical, but sometimes it can look really super fake. But I thought that he just brought it to the forefront and just made it look unbelievably majestic, and for like for example, the way you do it, it looks realistic. It's just like, oh my God, this looks real. It doesn't look like when they did the fat bastard and you know, but of course it's supposed to look funny and fake. But I mean,
Yeah, it's definitely evolved over the years for sure. Like from the 80s until now, like they've definitely evolved it to make it look more realistic.
oh yeah, oh yeah, and of course, if you're a professional like yourself is in the martial arts game, it's even more realistic, and it looks better because your form is better than it's just some guy like, hey, look at me flip, and it looks. I mean, there's also one thing on your reel that I saw where you're just sitting down and they yank you when they pull you, and I'm like, oh my God, how did she not get whiplash for that?
Oh
I'm
my
like, poor thing.
gosh.
She's like it looks like a rag doll. She's just like sitting there, ah! Goes flying through stuff. It's just like, I check your stuff because I'm like, let's see what kind of trouble she's getting into this time. And I'll send it to people. I'm like, check this out. I'll send it to filmmaker friends of mine. I go like, if we're ever going to do a martial arts film, we got to hire her. I go, she's just unbelievable. Sometimes you will have, who's the gal that you're always fighting with? You guys just do like fight sequences every which way. I forget her name.
Amy Johnston.
Amy Johnson, that's it.
Yeah, she's incredible. She's an amazing actress as well, and she's an amazing stunt performer. I love fighting her. She's like one of my favorite people to fight with because we just know each other's timing, and like I just love that girl.
It's like poetry. It's like the way you guys coordinate and fight. It's like a dance. It's not just like people throwing punches and stuff. It's like you guys you know how to. I guess you've worked so often that you know how to anticipate each other. So it's like I said, it's all fluid. It's just like I took a little martial arts myself.
Oh, okay.
I did. It's been a while, but I love martial arts. I just love the way it's like I said, it's like a dance. It's almost like a ballet, And the fact that you have a dance background is why you're so good at it.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
What martial arts did you train in?
Taekwondo.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I started that. That was my first martial art, actually.
Taekwondo is very showy. It's gorgeous. It's like, and then people would say like, well, it doesn't do you good in a fight. I'm like, it's not supposed to be. You're not. As a martial artist, you never get into a fight. You walk away from fights. You don't fight. Oh, how good is that? It's like, no, it's not like what do you call it? The Israeli martial arts. It's very practical.
Oh, Krav Maga.
Yeah, Krav Maga. It's like,
I don't know. Taekwondo, my school actually came from a sparring school, so we specialized in fighting. So yeah, and we would have tournaments and like do point sparring, and yeah, so I actually learned a lot from Taekwondo with fighting, like real fighting.
Who was your sensei?
Jun Chong.
Jun Chong. Oh. Mine was Master Healy Cho. He was from Korea.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was good.
So was my guy.
What are some of your favorite movies that deal with stunts? Like you like Hooper. Are there any movies that influenced you to get into stunts?
I really loved Kill Bill growing up. That was such a fun movie for me, and that was also like a very empowerment of women type of film. Mm-hmm. What else did I like? All the Jackie Chan movies.
I love
Police Story. Yeah.
I love Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan. There's a thing about Jackie Chan. I used to, my aunt who loved television, I introduced her to her, and she goes, I love Jackie Chan, because she had never heard about him, and I had a slew of, here, watch these, and she was like, but I don't like when he gets hit. I'm like, but that's you rooting for he's always the underdog. He's like, oh, that's me. Oh, what do you do? Oh. He's like, he always doesn't want to be the fighter. And I go, so you feel for but she's like, no, I don't like that. I don't. Jackie
Chan did all his own stunts.
That's funny. Have you seen the meme online recently that like they have all the famous actors like Chris Hemsworth standing next to his stunt double, this guy standing next to his, and then they have Jackie Chan. He's all by himself.
Wow.
Because he doesn't need stunt doubles.
That's so cool. What are some of the favorite movies that you've been in, or projects, television shows that you've done?
Man, my top favorites would have to be Mandalorian.
I was going to say, better be Mandalorian. It better be Mandalorian.
What did you do in Mandalorian? We love it. So you're in season 1 or 2 or both?
Both.
Oh, you did both too? You did 1 too, huh?
I did 1 as well. Yeah, on season 1 I got to double Emily Swallow, who played the armorer. So I got to do the season finale of 1, where the armorer gets to fight all the stormtroopers.
Oh. That's where I said, when I saw you go, I go, that's got to be Lauren. I was sitting on the couch with Maya. I was like, that's got to be Lauren. That's got to be Lauren. And then we saw your name come up. I said, I knew it. I know your style already. And then of course you did Ashoka, right? You doubled for.
I doubled. Okay, so I doubled Ahsoka for the anime series Clone Wars.
Oh, you didn't do for Rosario?
Ray Park. No, I actually doubled Magistrate, which was Diana Lee Inasanta, who fought Ahsoka.
Oh.
It was pretty cool because I got to play her in Clone Wars, but then I also got to fight her. That was exciting.
Did you get to meet Diana's dad?
Well, he's actually my guru. He's actually one of my martial art instructors.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh my God! For those of you who don't know who he is, he was like besties with Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce Lee.
Oh wow!
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's got a dojo in Marine Del Rey.
Oh.
Yeah. I like walked up to it and I chickened out. I was gonna like knock on the door and go, "Hey, I'm just a big fan. I'd like to say hey," But I was like, no, I chickened out. But that's awesome that you got to be his daughter's stunt double. That's really cool.
Yeah, Diana is incredible. She's like an amazing performer and person. Yeah, it was an amazing experience just to be a part of that world and that episode.
Oh, that's so cool. Who directed you for that episode?
That episode was Dave Filoni.
Oh,
the great Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
The great Dave Filoni with the cowboy hat.
Yes.
So I want to know, what was it like fighting Ray Park?
Man, like days before I had to like have rehearsal with him, I was really nervous because I looked up to him for so long, and like he's just so iconic in the martial art world and the Star Wars community. But when I met him, he was so humbled and like sweet and just a genuine person. So he was really easy to collaborate with. We got to both choreograph both of our sides of that fight. So yeah, it was just like a dream to work with him.
I bet all the Star Wars fans were like going, ooh, you got to fight Darth Maul. And you got to be not just fight Darth Maul, you got to be Ashoka. So that's pretty cool. I mean, for us, not only for the martial arts fans, but for the Star Wars fans. And being both, I was like, woo, woo, woo. I was like really like super happy.
Where did you shoot? Did you shoot here in Los Angeles or on location somewhere?
We actually rehearsed in Los Angeles, and then they flew us to Lucasfilms in San Francisco, which was at the Presidio. Yeah, Presidio. I'm saying that wrong. Sorry, Presidio.
Yeah, I know exactly where that is. It's so cool. And so, what
It's got
was
a little
Dave,
Yoda in the front.
What was Dave Filoni like?
Man, he's like, everyone is just so amazingly nice in the Star Wars community. They're just so cool. Yeah, he was just so creative and fun, and like he always knew what he wanted, and that's always like refreshing to get that like good input from directors, because he helped create like all these characters, so it was really cool to work with him.
Oh, that's so cool. Can you tell us a little bit about season 2 or no?
Season 3.
Season 3, is it the teaser of season 3?
Of Mandalorian?
Uh-huh.
Well, they haven't even started shooting it, so I wish I could tease you with something, but they haven't even started. Yeah.
If you're going to ask her to break ranks, you should ask her what she's filming.
Oh, I know. I know she had 1 and 2. But I didn't know she had
No. What she's filming
right.
What she's doing in Bangkok. But
I know.
If she can't do it,
say
there's a little head raised behind her.
So you can't even tell. Well, can you tell us? Are you shooting a television series or a film?
A television series.
A television series.
Nowadays, to me, it's more exciting when I hear about a television series than a film. I mean, I love film, of course, but because of like what Marvel has done with television series, it's like ooh, I'm more anticipating the television series.
Well, they are amazing. I mean, she's done so many great television series. What's the most exciting movie that you've gotten to work on?
Oh man. I don't know. I would have to say maybe Star Trek. I got to work with J.J. Abrams. I only had a small part on that, but it was just really cool to be a part of that world as well. And just to work with J.J. Abrams, because I really look up to him as well.
Now, which film was it? Which Star Trek was it? 1, 2, or 3?
It was the first one that came out.
Oh, okay.
The one, yeah. I can't. It was just called Star Trek.
Yeah,
I don't
just Star
even
Trek.
know.
Plain old
Yeah.
Star Trek. And who did you double? Was
No, I didn't double anyone.
You didn't double anyone.
No, I actually got to play like one of the people in the ships, and I actually had dialogue, but it got cut out.
Oh, director's
I
cut.
know.
We wanted to see director's cut. Were you in it was Starfleet uniform?
Yes, so that was really fun.
I hope you got to at least do a selfie of yourself. Look, I'm in a Star Trek uniform.
I think I have one. I have one because I was too scared to take anything else.
Of course. But still, I mean, being in a Star Trek uniform, I mean,
That'd
that
be
would
totally
be
cool.
that would be really awesome. To just like see, now is the time we can use awesome. Awesome.
All right. He says I
Awesome.
use awesome too
She
much.
uses awesome
I
at the
re-
drop
I
of a
overuse
hat.
Awesome.
Beep.
So
I
when you're
say
not,
that word a lot too.
Do you? Okay.
well, he's telling me that if I say awesome too much, it's no longer awesome. It kind of defeats the purpose.
my friend Steven uses it all the time too. He's like, "Oh my God, that was awesome." I go, "If you use awesome, you're gonna take away the awesomeness of awesome." Then everyone is like, "Oh yeah, that was awesome. This was awesome."
You got to find me a quarter every single time. You got
yeah.
to find me a quarter.
You know how big that stack of quarters is gonna be?
I know. It'd be awesome.
It'd be so big.
It'd be awesome. So when you're not doing stunts, are you auditioning as an actress, or when you get on as a stunt person, then you also are an actress?
Both. I mean, sometimes actually, here's a good example. I worked as Elodie Young stunt double for Daredevil and Defenders, and then because I had a relationship with some of the producers, they actually got me on Iron Fist as a character. I got to play one of the Crane sisters, so that was really, really fun to actually play a character and have dialogue. So that was a fun experience.
Without getting punched in the face.
No, I still got punched in the face.
Oh, you still got punched.
no.
Man.
This sounds like a silly question, but it seems logical too. If you're a stunt performer as a career, are you able to get insurance? Like, you just must be so high up for high risk.
That's an interesting question,
Because
actually.
I would just think it's like once you list what your profession is, they're going to be like,
Oh no! Oh no! Oh.
Well, luckily we're insured by SAG, so they don't discriminate if we're like a SAG performer. So, or if we're
Oh,
a
I was about to
performer.
say that
Yeah.
makes sense because it's
It would be hard to get insurance. You're right.
Because-
It's like, okay, excuse me. Oh, I get punched in the face for a living. We're gonna have to turn you down. How often do you work? Every day I get punched in the face.
Yeah, or you're getting lifted. I mean, you must work because we looked at your IMDb. You're working all the time. You're almost like on a set, working consistently throughout the year. Like, do you ever have time off? It looks like you're just going from project to project to project.
I mean, I do have time off. I mean, yeah, of course. Like, and then we always have the luxury of like turning down jobs if it doesn't feel right. So yeah, I mean, we have to have a balance in our life, and I think I'm gonna take a nice little break after this job for sure.
Well, because you're based in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah.
So is it hard just having like a personal life of, you're there for 3 months and you're here, I mean, just keeping up with friends and family? I can imagine that it's difficult.
Yeah, very difficult. And that's the life of a stunt performer nowadays, because everything shoots elsewhere than LA too, especially if you're a LA performer. But yeah, you just have to find balance. And I think, yeah, it's definitely been challenging. I'm actually married, so yeah, it's definitely hard for sure.
Is your husband there with you in Bangkok, or he stays in Los Angeles and keeps the home?
Yeah, he stays at home because he has businesses in town. So yeah, it's hard.
Wow, so it's a lot of like Zoom calls and that
I
kind of
miss
thing.
you.
Right.
When you're coming
Yeah.
home, and you're like,
It's almost like being in a rock band or something, and you're constantly on the road.
and I guess he's your number one groupie, right?
Yeah.
He's your biggest fan.
He's yeah, for sure.
Is he in the
So
industry, so
supportive.
he understands the industry, or he's doing something completely different?
Totally different. Totally different. Yeah.
What did he think when he met you and you're like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I fall off 20-story buildings.
Right. That must have been a kind of a weird first date. It's like, oh, I'm a this. Well, what do you do? Well, I set
Like,
myself on fire. I get punched in the face. What?
Yeah. Was he excited about that, or was he like, whoa, that's just so unexpected?
He was excited about it. I think for him, he's never dated anyone like me, and to be with like a thrill seeker, and yeah, it was just took him by surprise, and I think he just liked it.
That's so funny. And so does he go on trips with you on occasion, or like this one's a big one where you're gone for a long time?
Yeah. Usually no, but there is, when I worked on Hawaii Five-0, he did come with me because he loves Hawaii.
I was going to say,
I
it's
guess-
Hawaii. I'm going with you
Yeah.
whether you like it or not.
Right.
Sit on the beach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, well, do you have like any plans to have children later, start a family? Then will things change for you, or are you just going to be, going headstrong on your career?
Yeah, I think we want to start trying to have kids. I think that's the next part of life for me, and hopefully getting more like behind the scenes kind of jobs, like assistant coordinating would be something that I want to get into more. So yeah, definitely children.
Oh, that's awesome.
Little ones to throw through the window. All right, Jason, go through the window like mommy. Throwing your kids everywhere, because kids tend to gravitate to what the parents do. That would be, as a mom, you'd be like, oh my God, I hope, oh no. And you're like, that's all right, Mom, I've been set on fire before.
That's so funny. Should we take a look at some of Lauren's projects that are available right here on Amazon Prime Video? So, Lauren, we're going to show them to the audience.
The audience is
and
gonna-
then you tell us what you did or your experiences on the project. How's that?
Sounds good.
Awesome. So the first one that we're showing you guys, this is Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is available on Prime Video. You can get all seasons right here. You can buy one episode on high definition, or you can get the entire season.
So,
So I thought you guys were showing a clip. That's why I was like waiting.
oh, no.
Yeah, we actually show how they can, if they want to purchase it, if they want to see some projects that you've been in, then we can show it to them, and then you just tell us about it.
So basically, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I doubled Ming-Na Wen on a couple of episodes, and I wasn't her main double. Actually, her main double is Ming-Q, who's a good friend of mine. But yeah, I got to work on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, that was a fun, exciting show to work on, especially it was in LA, which is very rare. Yeah, I got to do like a cool wall flip on there, and I got to fight Mark Dacascos, actually. So that was a really fun episode.
Oh, that's terrific.
Mark Dacascos, I love Mark Dacascos.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy too, and he's a badass. He can really fight too.
Yeah, his style is just phenomenal. I was just like, I want to see more. I think he's underrated. I think he needs to have more roles, definitely.
I totally agree with that. But I feel like when he did John Wick, he was able to like get out there more in like the mainstream market.
Exactly. And I think what you said earlier about Asians not being in the forefront that's starting to change, because the biggest argument that I think the Suits had in the studios were like, well, there's no audience for it. And they're like, oh, you want to bet? And they came out, and the audience came out in droves, and they really supported Crazy Rich Asians. So it's like, yeah, there's an audience out there. So, I mean, do you have a script out there? Do you have anything that you would like to see made? Any pet project of yours?
Of my own?
Yeah. Did you have a little idea, in little kernel popping up there, going like, I'd like to see this or that or this or that or what have you?
Yeah, I mean, I write things on the side, but nothing concrete right now. But yeah, there's like tons of projects I would love to see Asians in. Like, I would like to see like a psychological thriller maybe with an Asian lead. I think that would be super fun.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I have a buddy of mine. He wrote a screenplay. It's ready to go. It's ready to go into production, and it's an all Asian lead. And when I say all Asian leads, I mean it's not just they're not from Asia. They're actually Asian Americans. And I'm like, well, that's really rare too, because usually they're like, oh, if it's going to be an Asian themed film, they all have to be from Asia. And it's like, no, let's see the Asian experience through the American eyes, because it's just like,
yes,
it's not like Woody Allen where they're it's kind of weird, because when Woody Allen does his movies, it's like, oh wow, I didn't know New York was all white. It's weird. So it's just weird. Yeah. And they're all, there's so many films out there made for a specific audience, and why not make one for the Asian audience or Hispanic audience or Middle Eastern audience? I mean, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Diego says hi to you as well.
Hello, Diego.
So you guys, as we were saying, Lauren Mary Kim is live right here coming to you from Bangkok, Thailand, believe it or not.
Yep.
And she's one of the premier stunt women in Hollywood today. So if you guys have any questions, any comments, please, now's the time to engage her in the chat. What we're doing is we're looking at some of her projects that she's done that are available here on Amazon Prime. And why don't we take a look at another one, and then Lauren can talk about it.
Yes.
So you guys, what we're looking at now is
the Orville.
This is the complete series seasons 1 through 12. This is a DVD collection. So this is the first and second season. You can get it right here on Amazon. So tell us about this project.
You know, sometimes when you're a stunt performer, you just get called to do like a couple days as a day player. And this was like, obviously I didn't get to do anything totally fun. I mean, I didn't even, I think I just played an ND stewardess, and I was just getting thrown around in a airplane. So yeah, sometimes we have jobs like that where we're not doubling anyone and we just play random characters and just filling spots. So yeah, sometimes our days are like that.
Well, that brings up a good question. So there are days when you're doing really intensive stunts, and then other days it's still considered stunt to be kind of like being jostled on a plane.
Yeah. So yeah, there's days where we're called ND performers, and then there's days where doubling like the lead actor or a main character when you're doing like crazy wire work. So like, yeah, I'm grateful for all days, and most performers really appreciate these days because these are days that are easier for us and we can like rest our body for the next big stunt.
I was about to say, because like getting jostled around. So what it is they wouldn't want the regular actor who may get injured to even be jostled around, and so they bring a stunt performer in.
Yeah, or they'll bring in like, you know, sometimes you see like background performers and they get pushed, but they just, you know, they can't have like a background actor do that. So they just have stunt performers do that. So some days we're literally called ND performers, ND stunt performers.
Wow.
I have an interesting question. As a stunt person who gets thrown around regularly, what is something that you might use or can recommend to like soothe the body? Like, do you soak in a bath? Do you use a certain kind of ointment, tiger balm?
I use everything that you can think of. I soak in like salt, like bath salts. I do cryotherapy. I'm a big fan of cryotherapy. It helps like regenerate like the muscles. I do chiropractic massage, acupuncture, CBD oils, like anything out there. I've definitely tried it. Like the Theragun, I have that. So yeah, I try everything.
Oh, that's good to know. I actually have a crazy question too. And I know this sounds crazy, but like we don't know anything about stunts. When you do a stunt and you're on for the day, do stunt performers get paid like a day rate? But what happens if you have to do a stunt 10 times or 20 times? Or do they get paid per the time they have to do
like
the
stuntman? Like the stuntman in the movie The Stuntman, he would always get a bump in pay?
Because I was like, what happens if they have you do it 10 times versus 20? To me, that's a big difference.
Yeah, so we're under, well, if you're an American performer, you're under SAG usually, and so we get either a weekly rate or a daily rate, and then based on the stunt that we perform, the stunt coordinator will give us a stunt adjustment based on how difficult or dangerous that stunt is. And so, you know, that's how they compensate us for a crazy stunt.
And the amount of times that you do it too?
Yeah, if we do it like 5 times, then you'll get more. If you only do it once, it's a little less. Yeah, definitely.
So it is like The Stuntman. Have you ever seen The Stuntman with Peter O'Toole?
No.
I was asking her.
Oh, sorry.
Have you ever seen Peter?
I should watch that.
You should watch that because it's about you know, Peter O'Toole is like the crazy mad director, and then Stephen Railsback is he learns to become a stuntman. He's actually a fugitive. And it's just so funny because he's like, okay, for this stunt, I'm going to pay you $600. And he's like, all right. And he thinks it's a lot of money. And then he goes, you did it twice. And he's fighting with him about stunts, and he's learning all these different stunts. It's just a really funny film. And I just thought, like, as a stunt person, you should watch The Stuntman. Because
I should.
He teaches him and there's an actual stuntman in it that plays the sage, the guy that teaches him how to take a fall and how to do a roll and all these things. It's basic stunts. martial arts stunts like that you do. These are like the just basic like falling and things of that nature. But Peter O'Toole is just like phenomenal in that movie. He's just like this crazy evil director.
Oh, that's funny. And I have a question too. That once again, because we don't know anything about stunts, back in the olden days, I know they used to use. Back in the olden days, when we were young, they used to use animals in stunts. They no longer do that anymore. Has there been a time when they stopped using animals in stunts? Because I know in the westerns they used to.
Oh
do
yeah,
that.
the horsies.
I think they still do that actually. They actually still use horses for falls, and they train horses to do certain stunts actually. I think they still do that for sure. And I know that they're more strict with like obviously with animals because you know that's horrible. But I think they have animal trainers that teach them certain tricks too.
I
And I've
didn't know
seen
that.
Yeah.
So have you
so they just
worked
have an
with
animal trainer?
So you've worked with animals in stunts, like you'll be running in animals are running next to you or anything like that?
Run, Simba, run! No?
I actually have not. I have a lot of friends that have done where they get attacked by a dog, and there's obviously an animal trainer there. And I've been witness to that, and it's kind of crazy.
I can imagine.
It's insane. But these animals are so well trained, and they have good trainers. So yeah, it's definitely a different world than what it was back in the day.
Yeah, because I know before they were talking about possibly inhumane practices, and hopefully that they've really changed all that kind of stuff now. Why don't we take a look at another one?
Hey, let's do that.
Okay, so we're looking at NCIS. So you can get all 12 seasons here on Amazon Prime Video.
NCIS Los Angeles.
Oh, LA, yes. And how many stars? It's got a lot of stars.
It's got a whole lot of stars. It's got 4.5.
It's got 4.5 at 257 reviews, and you can get it one episode here in high def, and you can also get the entire season.
So what was that like?
So I actually got to play a character on that.
Ooh.
Oh, awesome!
Lines, yeah. So that was a fun one, and I got shot. So they use this thing called squibs, where they put these little packets of blood, and then they explode on you. So yeah, I got to do a squib hit for that show, and actually had lines, so that was a super fun role.
Cool.
Was your line was your line I'm shot? Was that your line? You got me.
I can't even remember now.
You can't even remember. Oh, ouch. That hurts.
That's so funny. Now here's one that I haven't seen the new one, but
You
I
haven't
heard,
seen it? This is
but I
the
heard
remake.
it's amazing. Yeah,
Total
the
Recall.
remake is amazing. So you guys, what you're looking at right now is Total Recall. This is available on Amazon Prime Video. You could rent it in high definition, and you can also purchase the movie. What did you do in this awesome remake?
Total Recall.
So I actually got to work with Jeff Amata in this. He
Oh.
hired me. We were doing rehearsals in Los Angeles, and I got to do the previs for some of the fight scenes for Kate Beckinsale, I think, who was in that. So I got to be in the early stages of that project. So yeah, and a previs is basically, I don't know if you guys know what a previs is.
No, I don't know what it is.
Basically, it's like a mock-up of what they want to do as for the fight scene. So we shoot a version of it, and then we show it to production to get approval. And so that's basically a previs.
I never knew
idea.
that.
Yeah,
I've never heard of
I never heard of that
Prebis
before.
with a B? Prebis?
Oh no, previs. Like
Previs with a V.
Visualization.
Oh,
previs.
visualization.
Not prebis.
So are you guys like in a sound stage and you're doing the fight choreography and somebody's filming you and so they see it and then they take it to production?
Yeah, usually we shoot it in the gym or like a rehearsal space, and then we have someone shoot it, and then we have someone edit it, so then they can see possibly how to shoot the fight scene, what would look really good, what angles to use, and it's like a roadmap for them to shoot the fight scene.
How neat.
Like when you do your fight reels, like I've seen with Amy, you guys just go like, hey, we should upgrade our reels or whatever. Or is it purposely done to show certain people this fighting sequences, or do you just go like, hey, for shits and giggles, let's just go down to the LA reservoir or whatever and just simulate a fight?
Honestly, me and Amy started shooting stuff because, when you work on different projects, you're always like helmed to like a scene that you have to like redevelop. for someone else's vision of a project, like, you know, a script. So you don't usually get to do your own project. So for me, I just was like, I want to do my own project. I want to showcase my own like ideas of choreography or like whatever. And so it was just more of a creative outlet for me. And that's why I created my own little project. And I have this thing called Collier Diaries, because I wanted to see my progression as a Collier artist. So I started shooting all these fights, Collier fights. And it just kind of snowballed in some fun, like creative outlet for me.
Next time you do that, you got to call me so I can take some pictures.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I was like, wow, these are pretty cool. These are like a movie within a movie. You know, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, it's a little dangerous. I never want to piss her off. I don't want her to. What do you mean you didn't get the right angle? I promise to do it better next time.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty. You should watch them. They're pretty intense.
I know. I've got to see them for sure. You guys, what we're looking at now, I'm so excited about this one because so many people love this whole series.
Transformers.
This is Transformers: Age of Extinction with Michael Bay. Now you can rent this in high definition. You can buy it right here on Amazon Prime Video.
To watch Lauren. What do you do in this one?
What do you do?
That one was, you know, I can't really remember they were in Asia. I think it took place in Asia, one Asian city, and basically they needed a bunch of stunt performers that were Asian descent. Yay! And every day was like a crazy day because Michael Bay would be like, okay, I need 5 performers that need to like run when there's an explosion. And then so they would be like, put fire gel on and like run, and you might get lit on fire accidentally. It's like, and then the next bit would be like, now we're going to ratchet all these cars and we need performers like running along the lawn for that because we can't have background doing that. So it was just like another indie stunt job, but it was just really crazy because we were just put in so many situations where you just never knew what to expect.
That's crazy. But what was it like working with Michael Bay?
Sorry. I just heard too many things. It's okay. You don't have to answer that.
Okay. Yeah, it was intense.
Yeah. Michael Bay's pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. He's got a reputation.
Oh, I had no idea.
I mean, he's got a grand vision, but at certain people's expenses, right? Hey, just light that girl on fire, whatever. I'm like, put her out.
Oh, no.
She's in my frame. Put her out of there.
Are there a lot of, and that brings up a good point, are there a lot of Asian Americans in stunts? Or are there, I don't know. Or because of martial arts.
Don't you know that all Asians know martial arts?
Oh, yeah, we all know martial arts. We're all great at math.
We're so good. I'm actually not, though.
And computers. Yeah, me either. I'm terrible at math. Are there a lot of Asian American performers that are stunt people?
Yeah, I definitely think there are. I mean, we're all over the world. Like, there's a lot of great Asian performers in America, Canada, China, you know, Thailand. You know, there's great performers, yeah, for sure. And of course, a lot of us are good at martial arts.
Yeah. Because I didn't say it was like a cliche or something, or just that because
I'm excited for Shang-Chi, the master of Kung Fu.
Shang-Chi,
yeah.
Me too.
I was a little not as optimistic at first when I saw him. I went to an Asian award show, and he was the host. I forget his name. Who plays Shang-Chi? Simu Liu, yeah.
Simu Liu, yeah.
Yeah, and he was not yet started to get the Marvel workout, and I was like, this guy's gonna be Shang-Chi? I go, he's skinny and short. I go, he doesn't look what I would think like Shang-Chi, but he went to Marvel, the Marvel bulk up, and he's big now. And I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, yeah, he can do it. He's got a certain little pizzazz, and then it's got Awkwafina too. You can't go wrong with Awkwafina.
Oh, she's awesome.
I know, she's great.
She's awesome. I said awesome again. Forgive me. Twice I said
in a
it.
row.
Okay, all right. I said it twice. Okay, so you guys, what we're looking at now is the wonderful American Horror Story, which I love this anthology series. Now, you can get the complete series seasons here on Blu-ray that are available
I've only seen
right
one
here on
season.
Amazon. I love them all.
You do like them all?
I love them all.
Which season?
Every single one.
What season did you do?
I don't remember. Oh man, I doubled this one Asian actress and I'm forgetting her name. Forgive me, but I actually got to do a stair fall for her, and that
Oh.
was it was weird because she's like walking in her house and then she like looks up and there's this guy with like a pig face. I
Oh,
don't know if
jeez.
you know what season that was or not.
I know exactly which one it was, you guys. This is the
Oh.
one where there's an apocalypse in Los Angeles.
Oh.
That's what that. So you were in that season. I can't remember the number, but yeah, there's an apocalypse and it's like the end of the world and all that. That was a great season that you were in.
And what about her fall? How good
So
was
go
her
ahead.
fall?
Yeah, tell us about the fall.
Yeah, so basically she gets startled by this man with like a pig face or some kind of animal face, and of course it freaks her out. So then she falls back and does like this nice little stair fall down a spiral stairs. Yeah, that was a fun one.
Did you lose your shoe?
And did I?
That's
I
a good
might
question.
have. 'Cause I
It's
don't
an
know if I
Eddie
wore
Murphy
slippers.
reference.
I think I wore like slippers. So
Oh,
I
okay.
might have.
Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
times did you have to fall down the stairs for that day?
Once. We only
Oh,
had to do
thank
it
goodness.
once.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Have you ever been on a project where you're like, your experience was not the greatest, and you're like, oh God, you were like stressed out. You didn't feel that you were at your 100%.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure. I mean, there's definitely jobs where I felt stressed out. I'm always like a perfectionist, so I always sometimes if I have like a big fight day and I'll like analyze the night, like I'll come home and I can't sleep because I'm like analyzing what I could have done better. And,
Oh no, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that happens a lot. I think that goes with the territory with being a stunt performer.
Well, when you're a stunt performer too, because you have to be really at your top 100% physicality. If you're sick or something, I know it sounds like a stupid question.
No,
But
it's
do
not
they
stupid
actually replace you because they know that any slight alteration could make a difference between being safe and not safe?
Yeah, I mean, if you're like severely sick, throwing up, I would definitely call in sick. Luckily, that has not happened to me.
Knock on wood.
Nothing like, yeah, knock on wood. But there's been times I have been sick, but not like severely, and I still went to work and pushed through. So,
Not like with a runny
I've
nose and
been safe.
boogers and like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
worse.
a big difference between like a wonderful job of being a secretary and just typing versus being a stunt performer where you're doing all sorts of stuff. You know what I mean? It's a big difference.
Yeah, you're like counting down the hours if you feel like crap and you're on set all day. Yeah.
Oh no! And what are the most speaking of that difficult? I don't want to say terrain. What is the word? Like a situation like you're in snow. You're like you said you were at nighttime in the rain when you got hit by the car. Has there been any other type of environmental situation that has really impacted?
Really challenging?
Your challenging. Thank you.
The coldest.
Your coldest one where your muscles tighten up. Has there been something where you're like going through the snow or you're being plunged in the water or something like that?
I have a couple actually. There's this one commercial I did, and it was for a European commercial, and we had to be naked.
Naked?
And we shot. Yes, it was Europeans. They're
Oh.
all naked in all their commercials.
Were you naked
So,
and covered up or naked?
Yes, I was naked, but then I was covered with like pasties and underwear, obviously. I know, crazy. And we were in like in the mountains in like San Francisco Bay Area, and I had to jump out of a tree onto a moving car or something like that. It was
What?
I was freezing. And I was just counting down the hours because A, you're naked, and then B, it was like, I think it was winter too because it was windy. The conditions were like horrible. And then another time I was in like San Pedro Harbor playing a dead person, just floating in the water, and that was I think it was in February too. So
That's
and
cold.
the water is so cold and gross. So
Wait.
that was another like day where I was just dreading it and just couldn't wait for it.
I know the San Pedro Harbor. That is really gross water. Were you
That's
in
gross.
they just plopped you in the harbor?
Yeah.
Oh,
Were you
This is
floating
so
face down or
polluted.
face up?
Yeah. Face down.
Face down?
oh
breathe?
no!
How do you breathe?
No.
In
Yeah,
the deep part?
It was just horrible. I don't remember. I just remember like just being it was just disgusting water, and it was just freezing. Like, it was just miserable.
That couldn't be.
That's horrifying because I know the St. Peter Harbor. I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's so gross. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So let's take a look at another one. This is another one that I haven't seen yet. It's the redo of the old one.
Right, Magnum PI.
This is Magnum PI, you guys. There's all 3 seasons that are here. You can get it on Amazon Prime Video. You can rent 1 episode in high definition. You can buy the entire 3 seasons if you want. What did you do at Magnum? Is this when you got to go to Hawaii?
Yeah.
Oh yes, of course. Yes, it was Hawaii, one of my favorite places to shoot. I actually got to stunt double for an actress. I can never pronounce her name right, but her name's Vera Sherney, and she's an amazing actress. I got to double her, and I got to do a fight scene, fighting the main girl of that show, and it was a girl-on-girl fight, so it was fun. And I got to fight one of my really good friends who was her double, Mandy Kowalski. I don't know if you know her. But she's been in the industry for a long time. But yeah, it was a fun fight scene.
And then how long did you get to stay in Hawaii?
Oh man, I think it was like a week or 2.
Oh.
Baby.
I know, boo. Yeah.
What's the most exotic place that you've gotten to travel to in your work?
Bangkok.
I would say, Bangkok. But I would also say Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh.
I mean, that's not a country that you hear of often.
I
Or
just
at
know
all.
it like
Oh.
in the beauty pageants. They always say Miss Trinidad and Tobago, and I always thought that was weird because I had no idea where it was. It's in the Caribbean, right?
Yeah. I got to do a film with, do you know Danielle Bergio?
Yeah.
Her stunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was her film actually, and I got to play the lead villain. It was like a low budget film that we did a long time ago, but it was super fun, and it was just so exotic because I got exposed to their culture, and I got to try shark and bait, which is like one of their favorite foods there, and it was like amazing. So yeah, it was a really exotic, fun location.
You ate shark?
Yeah, it's called shark and bait or shark bait.
Shark
It's like
bait?
fried shark. Yeah.
What?
Bait. Yeah. It's like fried shark. It's so good too. I don't know if they still have it because I don't know if sharks are frowned upon to eat.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I think sharks are a protected species. So you ate? Was it the fin?
But this was a long time ago too.
No, don't worry. We're not gonna
no.
we're not gonna rat you out. You're like, oh! I know somebody ate shark. I know somebody ate shark.
Well,
Maybe
what?
they call it shark and it's maybe just fish. Maybe.
Maybe,
I
yeah, maybe it's just the name of the. Yeah, it wasn't shark. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
tuna.
What are some of the projects that we can look forward to seeing? Do you have anything upcoming? You can't talk about the one you're on right now.
Right.
I know.
Well, the one I've been on right now, I've been on for like 7 months. So that's like, I wish I could tell you guys because it's going to be really such an amazing project.
Well, when you come back to LA, you can come back, and you can then by then hopefully you can tell us.
Yeah.
Like when it's out.
We'll
When it's
bring
out.
you in
Yeah.
studio. We'll bring you live in studio instead of inside the box. Mm-hmm. And then
Yeah.
you can show
Exactly.
us. You can show us a couple of moves. You can smack Candace around.
Yeah, I'll fall off the table.
You
You
fall
know,
off
that
the
kind of
table.
thing.
Well, you fall off the table
table.
without getting smacked.
Yeah, I fall all the time. So you can't tell us about this one, but it is an amazing project. Can you tell us when you think it's going to be released? Is it sometime next year?
Actually, I think the end of this year, so we don't have to wait that long.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's awesome. And you had mentioned earlier, or you were talking about, you were talking about her awesome Instagram and the things that you were saying.
Yeah.
Can you tell us if people want to follow your career, your
Plug.
social media, Instagram, website, all that kind of good stuff?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram under Lauren Mary Kim, and then I also have a YouTube channel where you can see some of my demo reels and my Collier diaries, which is basically my video diary of my progression through the Collier arts. So yeah, definitely check it out.
Oh, cool.
That's great.
Very cool. Wow, we had such an awesome time with you today. Thank you
so much for having me.
Oh, you guys, thank you so much for coming all the way from Bangkok, Thailand, to where she's right now.